bring in policies too, for sure.
Incidentally, we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call a police station, before they even leave, they'll take permission from.
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
The struggle, the ASIS strike.
You have done your work, you have put us to the wall. We are not your slaves.
I'm not a small boy. You should have given me the report. I have not seen the report.
Welcome to Global Morning.
The death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure.
Incidentally, we have several more stories.
the legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call a police station, before they even leave, they'll take permission from.
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
The struggle, the ASIS strike.
You have done your work, you have put us to the wall. We are not your slaves.
I'm not a small boy. You should have given me the report. I have not seen the report.
Good morning and welcome to Africa's Finest Breakfast Show. It's Global Morning on Global Television. My name is Anthony Momodi. Welcome to today's broadcast as we intend to make your day truly amazing. I want to say thank you for allowing us to join you this morning, talking about the 14th day of March 2024. All right, we've got some very interesting happenings across Africa's biggest black nation, Nigeria, where yesterday is no longer news that the Senator Abdul Ningi was suspended yesterday. But a follow-up to what's playing out has the Senate leader speaking in the person of Bayemi Bamidele, talking about what played out yesterday. And it's very interesting, his take as regards the actions of Senator Abdul Ningi, saying it's tantamount to a civilian coup, trying to upstage the current Senate president in the person of Godswill Akpabio. But on the flip side of it, look at the many troubles and the comment of the Senate president talking about Godswill Akpabio, where in one of his utterances in an event he attended, where he said the current administration didn't know the charges to prefer against the XY governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. I talked about Godwin Emefiele, which caused a reaction where Emefiele did threaten him with a lawsuit if he did not tender any public apology. Fast forward to other comments he also made at Wigwe's funeral, where he said the Labour Party, the presidential candidate, was better received and welcomed to the event than him, the Senate president, which led to lots of people expressing their concern as regards his utterances in various places. Not forgetting also his utterances against the governors, the 36 state governors, where he alleged that they all did get certain huge amount of money to alleviate the poverty in their various states, which he later did apologize and said he held the governors in high esteem. So those are some of the various, many utterances of the Senate President Godswill Akpabio that has caused a lot of ripples across the Nigerian landscape. And so no wonder this majority leader, talking about Bayemi Bamidele, is saying that Senator Abdul Ningi, was trying to perpetrate impeachment of the Senate president. All right, that's one of the talking points of things playing out in Nigeria. Also, the issue of the World Trade Organization, DG, talking about Kunjo, who has expressed regret as regards Nigeria's falling standards in terms of agricultural produce in the world market, saying Nigeria is lacking behind due to its inability to compete favorably with other nations of the world. And she also did go to as far as expressing her displeasure with what is also happening in the education sector as regards the abduction of children, massive adoption of children, especially in Kaduna State. All right, let's fast forward. We also have some comment and talks coming from the Vice President in the person of Kashim Shettima, who has also expressed reservations as regards the 2023 general elections, where he accused politicians across board of all parties, including his own APC, of using ethno-religious and ethnicity along those lines to divide the electorate and also agenda going forward. The politicians should try to, canvass for votes based on just what they have to offer the electorate, and rather through ethnicity or religious lines. That's the comment of the Vice President Kashim Shettima there, making his utterances. All right, we also have some very interesting talking points coming from Sheikh Gumi. Sheikh Gumi is a very influential, clergyman, Islamic clergyman in Kaduna State. He had some very strong words for the current President Ahmed Tinubu, where the Kaduna-based Muslim cleric Sheikh Ahmed Gumi on Tuesday, sought government's permission to approach and have talks with bandits who abducted about 287 school children from Kaduna Government Secondary School and LEA primary school in the Chikon local government area of the state. The Islamic cleric insisted that dialogue was the way to go, calling on President Bola Tinubu to take a different approach from his predecessor, talking about Muhammadu Buhari, who rejected dialogue. The report tells us that the bandits invaded the Kuriga area of Chikon local government area, shooting at their victims before taking away 280 pupils and their teachers. But the big question is, how come Sheikh Gumi has consistently wanting to advocate for the bandits? Is that something he's not telling us? Is he sponsoring the bandits? Is he, having affiliation with the bandits? I think this is a very strong, concern that security agencies, the DSS, the DIA, and others should look into, and probably bring him in for questioning to know what his interest is in always wanting to speak on behalf of the bandits. Is there any affiliation with the bandits, and is that why banditry in Kaduna and the country is still on the rise? I think Sheikh Gumi has a lot of questions and answers to give to the Nigerian populace. And would the President, Ahmed Tinubu, follow suit and agree for a dialogue with the bandits, or would he reject the proposal by Sheikh Gumi, who has already accused former president of rejecting his proposal? Those are some salient questions we hope in the coming days and weeks we'll be able to answer on this program, and also the presidency hopefully will be giving a response to the proposal and offer by Sheikh Gumi. All right, looking at that talking point, let's just quickly go and see what we've got this morning before we give you too much information. Let's be sure you're ready. Take some breakfast and be ready for other big stories and talking points that we'll be sharing across with you this morning on the program, Global Morning. Let's see what our taste and texture has in store for us. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to another mouth-watering episode on Taste and Texture. I'm Fatimi Abomar. Today I'll be taking you on how to make irresistible okra soup. The Nigerian okra soup recipe is a delicious, brightly colored medley of delectable meats, vegetables, and spices. The slimy goodness is astonishingly easy to prepare, and it will leave you very satisfied. There are two versions of okra soup: stewed okra, where the okra is cooked together with the sauce; okra stew, where the okra is cooked separately and served with stew. Let's talk about the slime. Okra itself is slimy, and while few people find that appealing, most don't mind the mucousy nature of the soup. In fact, this is the essence. I also noticed the smaller you chop it, the slimier it becomes. If you blend it or grate your okra, it releases more mucilage, which causes the sliminess in the soup. If you want to reduce that, consider chopping your okra instead. This soup is commonly eaten with gari or eba in Nigeria. You can also eat it with pounded yam, poundo, or amala. However, amala goes better with okra and stew. Ingredients: 5 cups chopped okra, 1 cup blended okra, 3 red bell pepper, 2 scotch bonnets, 2 cayenne pepper, 1 onion, 1 bulb meat choice goat meat, tripe, smoked turkey, 1 cup shrimp, half cup of palm oil, 1 teaspoon of iru, locust beans, and spinach. Spices: salt, Cameroon pepper, stock cubes, and crayfish. Now let's make it. Boil meat of your choice. Wash goat meat and tripe or meat of your choice and place it in a pot. In a blender, add half onion and 1 scotch bonnet. Blend into a paste and pour it into the meat. Season the meat with salt, Cameroon pepper, and 2 stock cubes. Place on medium heat and boil for 30 minutes. Separate stock and bake for fry. Prepare pepper base. Blend red pepper, scotch bonnet, half onion, and cayenne pepper and transfer to an empty pot to boil for 15 minutes or till dry. Now let's prepare the soup. Add palm oil to the pot, a seasoning with iru, crayfish, and stock cube. Add blended pepper into the oil and let it fry for 1 minute. Then pour into the pot of meat with stock. Taste the sauce and season with salt, pepper, and crayfish to taste. Pour the blended okra into the soup and stir well. Wait a few seconds, then add chopped okra and spinach into the pot. Stir soup well and allow it to simmer for 10 minutes. Serve and enjoy. And now to the health benefits. Okra is a nutritional food with many health benefits. It's rich in magnesium, folate, fiber, antioxidants, and vitamin C, K1, and A. Okra may benefit pregnant women, heart health, and blood sugar control. That's all for now. See you same time next time for another episode on Taste and Texture. I remain your host, Fatimi Abomar.
All right, I guess that okra soup is meant for lunch and not for breakfast. Already you could see the delicacy and all the condiments are meant to prepare such a very delicious soup. But it means the farmers have to get to the farm for them to be able to produce all those condiments and vegetables that are needed to prepare such a very delicate delicacy. But it's worrisome because even the World Trade Organization, DG, talking about Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is having issues. She's speaking about that the World Trade Organization says Nigeria has lost its leading position in the agricultural export market because its agricultural commodities do not meet the sanitary and sanitary requirement of the foreign market. According to WTO, despite abundance of arable lands and increased investments, the nation has transitioned into a net importer of farm produce that was previously cultivated domestically, undermining efforts like aimed at ensuring food sustainability. A very sad commentary at that. The Director General, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, disclosed this in Abuja at the recent launch of 7 trade support programs initiated by the WTO ITC to boost the development of Nigeria's trade and industry standards. The initiative, namely the Standards Trade Development Facility Digital Trade Initiative Support of Women Exporters, Entrepreneurship Support, and the National Trade Portal and Cotton Development Initiative, was aimed to provide technical support to strengthen food security in the country and food safety. This is, I think, is very key if we want to continuously have such delicacies like we had in the Taste and Texture segment recently. But it tells you a lot needs to be done for the agricultural sector to, especially get us out of the woods as we look at production, and also the fact that we, like the WTO DG has already said we do more of importing rather than produce and farm like we used to do in the past. Very worrisome commentary there. All right, let's move into some political space and look at some issues playing out, especially in Edo State, where one of the big political parties in Nigeria, talking about the People's Democratic Party, seem to be in crisis every now and then, and it has to do with the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, who is in the news this morning. Let's just let you know that the office of the Edo State Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, on Tuesday denied that any impeachment notice was served on the Deputy Governor by the State House of Assembly. It denied the allegation made by lawmakers on Monday that Shaibu was evading service, leading to the lawmakers' decision to publish impeachment notice in a daily newspaper. The State Assembly last Wednesday actually did comment the impeachment proceedings against Shaibu, accusing him of perjury and leaking government secrets. The impeachment move is believed to be the latest development in the rift between Shaibu and his principal, talking about Godwin Obaseki. There has always been an easy calm between the deputy governor and the principal since last year, when Shaibu declared his interest to join this year's Edo governorship race. The assembly directed its clerk to serve Shaibu with the impeachment notice, saying that 7 days to respond. It's very sad that these things keep playing out in the political space of Nigeria. We've seen that play out in different states where the principal or the governor in charge seem to always want to dictate who takes over the reign of the state. We saw that play out in Kogi State, and also even when it did play out in River State, it didn't end well, because currently we still have the rift between Governor Sim Fubara and ex-white Governor Nyesom Wike, who's even the current Minister of the FCT. So it has not always been Uhuru, even when they decide who succeeds them. But that of Edo State is turning out to become a very, very ugly scene, and we hope that this would not degenerate into, some kind of mayhem in the coming days and weeks. Hopefully, we'll be looking at that talking point in the course of the program today on Global Morning. All right, let's now that the Deputy Governor is evading the service, it has gone on the national dailies that he has been served his impeachment notice. Let's see what's going to play out in the coming days and weeks. Already, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, seem not to be backing the Deputy Governor. So is he on his own? Is he likely to defer to another political party in order to achieve his ambition of becoming the governor of Edo State? That only time will tell in the coming days and weeks and months, heading to the September polls, where the people of Edo State would come out en masse to cast their vote to decide who leads them into the future. So it's going to be an interesting time in Edo State. And for the People's Democratic Party, how much will it affect the chances of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State if Philip Shaibu does defect to another party in search of his ambition to be achieved? And would the anointed one for the PDP be able to carry them across the line? Is this a chance for the APC also to stake a claim back into the government house in Edo State, or probably an outsider, a Labour Party or the Young People's Progressive Party, to take the opportunity to sneak in with a shout? All this will play out in the coming days and weeks as we watch keenly what's playing out in Edo State. All right, let's move on to other talking point from Edo State. Something also is still brewing in Ondo State, where the man Ayedatiwa has thrown his heart into the ring, saying, yes, I want to become the governor of Ondo State. So let's see what Ayedatiwa is going to be achieving. But the big story we all know is that Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa on Tuesday formally declared his intention to contest the November 16 governorship election in the state. Ayedatiwa, surrounded by his loyalists and supporters, made the declaration at the Gani Fayomi Arcade, Akure, amidst fanfare. Yedotua, who became the governor of the state on December 27, 2023, following the demise of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, will be contesting the governorship ticket of the All Progressive Congress at the primary coming up in April. His former declaration was graced by some elders and leaders of the Ondo State APC, including former Ondo North Senatorial District Senator Ajayi Boroface, a member of the House of Representatives, Abiola Makinde, and members of the State House of Assembly, representatives of the State Working Committee of the party. But there's still some rift there, as some members of the APC are not completely convinced he is the man for the job. So let's see what's going to pan out in the coming days. Already we know that there's a rift between the families of the late Akeredolu, as in terms of supporting the current governor or not. So we'll be looking at that keenly to see what's going to be playing out. All right, it's now time for us to look at a lot of too much politics for you this morning. Let's mix it with some sports. And we already know that the All African Games is going on in close by Ghana in Kumasi, Cape Town. So let's take a look and talk about some sporting issues. As one man has retained his sport as the best in table tennis in Africa. He's from Nigeria. His name Quadri Aruna is making the news this morning as we look at things playing out in the All-African Games, talking about Aruna Quadri. All right, let's let you know that Aruna Quadri maintained his status as the best-ranked African player in the world, occupying the number 11th position ahead of African Games champion Omar Assar. That's a good one for him. And just to also let you know that Nigeria has moved to the second position in the All-African Games, talking about Nigeria churning out more medals, and what it means is that we are doing great. So just to let you know, Quadri Aruna maintained his status as the best-ranked African player in world, occupying the 11th position ahead of African Games champion Omar Assar of Egypt, who is ranked 22nd in the world, while compatriot Effiong Edem leads the rise of African players in 2024 Week 11 rankings released by the International Table Tennis Federation. The latest ranking follows the conclusion of the table tennis event at the ongoing 13th African Games in Ghana. Aruna Quadri remains the best in Africa, and that's congratulations to Aruna Quadri, who is currently Africa's best table tennis player and based on the recent ranking, Aruna Quadri is #1 in Africa, and I think that's a congratulations to that man, Quadri. All right, let's just. All right, that's the man on your screen, Aruna Quadri, the best table tennis player in Africa. All right, let's quickly give you more of the sports stories making the rounds. Yesterday was all over the world, the Champions League fever caught everybody, especially the Napoli, Barcelona, Arsenal fans. And it was a very tight one for Arsenal last night, as Arsenal edged out Porto on penalties to reach their Champions League quarterfinals for the first time since 2010 on Tuesday, after their last 16 tie finished 1-1 on aggregate. Leandro Trossard, the first half strike, gave us the 1-0 second leg win at the Emirates after their defeat in Portugal, before David Raya's 2 saves secured them a 4-2 penalty shootout win. So that's how it panned out for Arsenal last night, and it's congratulations to the Gunners. Now, since 2010, they have finally qualified for the quarterfinals. All right, now that we've given some sport, I think let's join the sports desk for more sporting stories. And when we come back, it's going to be time for Global AM News. Stay with us.
Despite a late 1-0 win against South Sudan in the ongoing African Games, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria failed to convince many of their abilities in their campaign. The match, which took place on Monday night at the Accra Sports Stadium, Sochas Agada squandered 2 goal-scoring opportunities late in the game. Although Sadiq Isiaka's penalty secured victory for Nigeria, there are concerns about their midfield and attacks' inability to connect with passes. The result against South Sudan means the Flying Eagles moved to second position in Group B standings. Ladambozo's men are behind the Hippos of Uganda, who have 6 points from 2 games after beating Senegal 1-0 in the other group game clash. Nigeria will face Senegal on Friday with only a draw required to ensure qualification for the semi-finals. However, post-game reports suggest concerns about the team's ability to progress through the group stage, especially given a lack of confidence in the front line. Africa's top-ranked team, Nigeria, will host reigning African champion South Africa in the first leg of the Women's Olympic Football Tournament final qualifying fixture at the MKO Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, April 5th, according to the Confederation of African Football. The encounter will kick off at 4 p.m. with Algeria's Gada Mihat named as referee. Mihat's compatriots will be in the roles of assistant referee 1 and 4 officials, respectively. 4 days later in South Africa at a venue to be decided. According to CAF, Tunisian official Dossa Ghanouti will be the referee for the fixture. With an impressive display of athleticism and prowess, Team Nigeria created a huge impression in the ongoing African Games 2023, shooting up to the top 4 on the medals table. With 7 gold medals won on Sunday, Nigerian athletes demonstrated their superiority as they bid to finish well overall. As of press time, Nigeria is currently placed 4th on the medals table, with 30 medals in total, comprising of 10 gold, 7 silver, and 30 bronze medals. Egypt, Algeria, and South Africa are placed 1st, 2nd, and 3rd with 73, 47, and 39 medals, respectively. On the wrestling mat, Team Nigeria continued its golden streak with Mercy Genesis' season victory in the women's 50kg freestyle event, overpowering her Egyptian opponent Nadal Mohammed with dominating 7-0 performance. Christiana Ogunsoya added to the haul with a commanding 11-0 victory over her Ivorian counterpart Bakayoko in the 53 division. Adekuroye Odunayo, a 3-time Commonwealth champion, demonstrated her mastery by securing gold in the 57kg finals with a lightning-fast victory over Zainab Hussein, triumphing in just 24 seconds. Esther Kolawole, making her debut in the African Games, showcased her impressive wrestling skills. The legendary Blessing Oborodudu, a multiple African champion and Olympic silver medalist, continued to etch her name in history by clinching Nigeria's 5th gold medal after a commanding performance against her Cameroonian opponent Ngiri in the 68kg finals. Completing a remarkable medal sweep was Hannah Ruben, who wrestled her way to victory in the fiercely contested 76kg category. Meanwhile, Sukurat Ayela Bigan, a current student of Ekiti State University, has won a silver medal for Nigeria female table tennis team. The female Yellow Greens have vowed to come back stronger and make a claim for the bronze medal in the women's cricket event at the ongoing African Games in Ghana when they take on Uganda in the 3rd-place match at the Achimota Cricket Oval on Wednesday. Nigeria lost the second semi-final by 5 wickets on Monday after going shoulder-to-shoulder against a test nation Zimbabwe. Captain Blessing Etim won the toss and elected to bat against the 13th-ranked nation in the world, but that didn't quite go well in the first innings as they were limited to 74 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in 20 overs. And that's how we call it a wrap on the Sports News Update. I am Anthony Momodu.
Welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global AM News on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agumofwegwe. There has been a fire outbreak at the popular Wuse Market in the central area of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Eyewitnesses say the fire incident occurred following a fracas between Abuja Revenue Collection Task Force and traders at the market, resulting in the unfortunate death of a trader. The situation reportedly escalated as marketers resisted the enforcement measures of the task force team and what they termed unjust police action.
What is there be said? Somebody they hawk for this Nigeria where we don't suffer. Whether you peace, that's what they catch you. Whether you urinate, whether you the hawk, that's what they catch us. Wait. That's what they catch us. They go here and the boy. The boy alone. They pursue him. Go kill him. Zone 4. Go kill him. Kill him. They come here, they fall there. The only thing where police go do, police go blow tear gas. Now tear gas come they got all the whole fire where they have to now police.
I believe that if the market is given to the right people to handle, this matter will not trigger in this form. That is the issue of the matter.
What happened today, we say don't tell what task force they do. Every Tuesday, task force to arrest people and carry them go court, from court to prison. The boy no come anybody wrong. That is fire and shooter. The same police, prison warders are dead one. We are here now begging the government to come and see what is going on. If they didn't help, that can help for the billions of naira that go on. So may assist. May man wake have something that he's doing. No go enter road, begin they do 1 or 2. And it's not good for somebody that have something doing before. Come to the last. It's not possible. You must try something to feed the family. I beg.
FCT Police Commissioner Bennett Thigwe also reacted to the incident.
The situation now the fire has been brought under control. We are happy that it's only few cars that are bought, and you can see it's about 3-4 trucks that are bought. So we are protecting the spirit. The root of the matter, how will we be able to tackle? We have not come to the root for now. Until let us finish the fire, we will now find out what has happened. That's why I've been here.
Thank you, Michael Deacon and his team there for bringing us that report as quickly as possible. Let's turn to other stories now. President Bola Tinubu has appealed to 36 state governors of the Federation to begin paying the wage awards to workers, pending the determination of the new minimum wage to reduce the hardship of the economy on the people. The president noted that if the states had implemented the wage awards, it would provide much needed relief without causing inflationary pressures. President Tinubu assured that the student loans and other economic measures would soon commence, noting that steps are being taken by the government to relieve citizens of hunger. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu had submitted the 2024 budget for the Federal Capital Territory Administration to the House of Representatives for consideration and passage. The letter seeking the passage of the budget was read on the floor of the House during plenary session on Tuesday. It was, however, silent on the estimates. The letter stated that the proposal has been prepared on the basis of the FCTA revenue and expenditure focus and is in line with the fiscal and development policy of the federal government and the Renewed Hope agenda. After reading the letter, Speaker Abbas Tajuddin, who presided over plenary, directed that the request be forwarded to the Committee on Appropriation for deliberation ahead of its budget passage. President Bola Tinubu has flagged off the food security and agricultural mechanization program in Niger State, emphasizing that his administration remains committed to ensuring feed sufficiency and protecting local industries for sustainable economic growth. The project, an initiative of the Niger State government, is for the deployment of cutting-edge agricultural machinery and technology for large-scale agro-value chain development in the state. Kikelemo Okere has details for us.
Speaking at the inauguration, President Tinubu says the event represents another step in the food security and agricultural mechanization agenda, declaring that Nigeria must enhance its capacity to feed its people and have enough food for export, while reiterating commitment in providing a comprehensive program that will solve the food security problem. President Tinubu urged subnational government as an immediate intervention measures to implement wage award in their state to complement the effort of the federal government in easing the burden of the citizen, pending when the minimum wage is increased.
And if all of you, I'm glad I'm facing Abdurrahman, have been paying the wages award pending the determination of new salary wage. Let all the subnationals start paying that. Let them. The wage award plus whatever they are taking now, and the wage award will relieve the public. Please.
Speaking on the student loan program, President Tinubu says there will be unemployment benefit for the graduates, adding that the social security benefit for the elderly and the vulnerable will commence.
The student loan program will commence. The social security program for the elderly and vulnerable will commence. We are fine-tuning all of that area. We are going to relieve people of hunger.
Appreciating the president for honoring his invitation and inaugurating the facility, Governor Mohammed Umar Bago says 4 states, Benue, Kogi, Kwara and Lagos State had already signed a memorandum of understanding on building partnership for the development of agriculture, adding that agriculture is key to addressing the challenges in critical sector of the economy.
Our commitment to addressing the challenges in critical sectors of our economy, and we shall seize every opportunity for the attainment of the growth and engender prosperity for the people of our beloved state and by extension our dear country Nigeria. On road infrastructure, to address these challenges and establish efficient road infrastructure and cost-effective and secure movement of goods and services, the state government embarked on an ambitious initiative to rehabilitate and expand some federal roads that have implications for the evacuation of agricultural produce.
We are on a conversation and ensuring that your vision at producing the required food security for this country is on track. And for us is to continue to do a peer review to ensure that we can adequately feed our citizens, produce more than enough for them.
The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, disclosed that the federal government had signed an agreement with the Brazilian government and German-Dutch bank group as financier of a facility of €995 million for the Green Imperative program, which will provide mechanization hub across the 774 local government area in Nigeria when implemented. He added that the Green Hope initiative is another veritable platform the federal government is deploying to ultimately change the deficit narrative in the Nigerian agricultural mechanization space. While in Niger State, President Tinubu also visited former Nigerian head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida and General Abdulsalami Abubakar, with whom he had fruitful discussion concerning the advancement of the nation. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Thank you, Kike Lomo. The alleged budget pardon by the Senate and its supposed implementation by the President Bola Tinubu administration seem to be causing a huge division in the nation's upper legislative chamber. Senator Abdul Ningi, who represents Bauchi Central, had told reporters in an interview he granted in Hausa language with the foreign media had prompted the argument of whether the government is implementing the 28.7 trillion naira budget as passed or 25 trillion as reported. Ningi, however, maintained that he did not say that the president led administration was operating to budgets. Queen Agaba has the rest of the report.
The budget, which Onanuga seems to have dwelt on. I say we have established beyond reasonable doubt about 25 trillion so far has nexus in the budget. That means there is money, and then there is project, and then there is location. Money, project, location. But we are yet to ascertain 3 trillion of that budget. We have established the 3 trillion in the budget. We have not established its location.
Not long after Senator Ningi left the podium, his Ondo State counterpart, Jimoh Ibrahim, mounted and called on the federal government and police to charge Ningi with misinformation. He insisted that the claims by the Bauchi Central Senator were worrisome, totally untrue, divisive, and amounts to criminal misinformation.
Approve only one appropriation act for 2024, and we never approved two. The presidency of Nigeria cannot operate two budgets. They can only operate within the existence of the Appropriation Act of 2024. My distinguished brother, Senator Ningi, made this false information and is unacceptable, is causing uncomfortable pains to our integrity.
The presidency had on Sunday described as false a claim by Senator Ningi that the federal government is operating two versions of the 2024 budget. According to a statement by Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the senators claimed that the National Assembly passed 25 trillion naira as the 2024 budget is false, adding that 28.7 trillion naira was passed and signed into law by President Bola Tinubu. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting.
In the meantime, the Senate has suspended Senator Abdul Ningi for 3 months over his claim that the 2024 budget was padded to the tune of 3.7 trillion naira. Ningi, a member of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, is the chairman, Senate Committee on Population, and represents Bauchi Central. While the parties called for a probe into the allegation, some northern senators disowned the claims made by Ningi, saying the Bauchi state senator did not speak for them. Ningi, however, maintained his position that the 3.7 trillion naira could not be accounted for in the 2024 budget. Meanwhile, there was uproar in the Senate over the revelation that ranking senators had received 500 million naira each for projects. Senator Jarigbe Agam Jarigbe of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, representing Cross River North, had revealed this during a session that ranking senators received a sum of 500 million naira. The senator revealed this while speaking during the plenary as the upper legislative chamber discussed Senator Olamilekan Adeola's motion on breach of privilege by Senator Ningi. The Nigeria Senate has inaugurated an ad hoc committee to probe the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari over the 30 trillion naira ways and means advances from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, which was approved by the 9th National Assembly. The National Assembly says probing ways and means through which the current economic hardship came to be is imperative in order to ascertain why citizens have been plunged into a crippling deprivation. Kekalamo Okere tells us more.
Inaugurating the committee in Abuja, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, noted that unraveling the mystery behind the advances remained key in understanding the country's present predicament.
With the investigation of the ways and means of about 30 trillion, including the expenses or otherwise, utilization, success or failures of the Anchor Borrowers Program. To the members of this esteemed committee, I implore you to approach your responsibilities with the utmost sense of patriotism, professionalism, and integrity.
Your scrutiny or investigation demands impartiality and fairness.
According to Akpabio, the successes of the investigative panel hinges on collaboration, cooperation, and steadfast commitment for the benefit of Nigerians. It charged the committee to leave no stone unturned in pursuit of truth about 30 trillion naira ways and means loan advances.
Aside personal and partisan interests, focusing solely on the task at hand. By working harmoniously with the executive and all interest groups, we can ensure that the ways and means, so-called, and utilized in the country, even the one in the past, and if it should ever occur again, are managed prudently, efficiently, and in accordance with the laws of the nation.
Responding, chairman of the 17-member committee, Senator Issa Jibril, assured that the probe will be carried out with precision to a logical conclusion.
Your Excellency, the implication of this is that Nigerians are waiting for the result of this investigation. I want to assure you that we are going to carry out this assignment expeditiously, but without any form of compromise. We are going to carry out this assignment expeditiously without any form of compromise. That I am assuring you.
The ad hoc committee has 6 weeks to investigate 30 trillion naira ways and means advances and 10 trillion naira expended on the Anchor Borrowers Program among the intervention programs. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Commonwealth nations are countries with diverse cultures, languages, and traditions that were once parts of the British Empire, which have historical ties and political affiliations. In line with this year's theme, One Resilient Common Future, Transforming Our Commonwealth, the Commonwealth Society of Nigeria has called for youth investment and involvement in accessible and equitable educational opportunities at the annual conference held in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Let's now join Fozia Lukman for more.
With the objectives of promoting the understanding of the nature and workings of the Commonwealth and of the factors which shape the lives of people and the policies of government in Nigeria, the Commonwealth Society of Nigeria holds an annual conference in commemorating the day with awards of service to humanity and ambassadors for the Renewed Hope administration in the northern part of the country. Musa A. Abubakar, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth Society of Nigeria, acknowledged the Northern Ambassador while calling on peace, unity, and togetherness.
Our topic of our lecture today talk about renewed hope, peace, unity, progress, and development. And we invite young people from northern parts of Nigeria because what we are talking about is mainly in the northern part of Nigeria. That's why we invite 10 youth from each state, and we commission them as a Renewed Hope ambassador.
Speaking to journalists on the presentation of awards to the Federal Road Safety Corps, Sabitu Abdu, the unit commander, praised the selfless act, while Madu Chimeze, one of the awardees, called on youth involvement.
Madu is a junior staff, but he has distinguished himself in providing selfless service to humanity.
I was not doing my work as well as supposed to do it. I want to tell every of the youth should work hard. Whatever thing that you are doing, just do it good.
Emphasizing on the betterment of lives for the future through business, meritorious awardee Honorable Andrew Adama says,
we are in a very critical situation of the country, and I want to tell them that business is the key. Let's see how we can work together to support the government of the day for a betterment of our own tomorrow.
Representing the governor of Gombe State, the Commissioner of Youth and Sport, Adamu Inuwa Ibrahim, appreciates the Northern Youth ambassadorial appointment.
When we go back now, as we see so many knowledge, we gathered so many knowledge. When we get back, we will encourage our youth to put more effort and participate in any applications, made it online or whatever, so that they will feel it and have the opportunity to participate in the Commonwealth ahead activities that will come.
Highlight of the day was the quiz session with the youth and the presentation of the awards. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News.
Kaduna-based Muslim cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi has revealed his intention to dialogue with bandits who abducted about 287 school children from Kuriga Government Secondary and LAA primary schools in the Chicken local government area of the state. Gumi said this in a bid to facilitate the release of the abducted school children should President Bola Tinubu give him the opportunity to negotiate. According to a prominent Islamic scholar, Tinubu must not repeat the mistake made by former President Buhari, who refused to dialogue with bandits. The bandits had invaded the Kuriga area of the Chicken local government area of Kaduna State, shooting at their victims before taking away at least 280 of the pupils and teachers from both schools. You're watching the Global AM News coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using Global TVAG and all other handles as you now see on your screen. When the AM News returns, electricity distribution companies workers strike causes blackouts in 4 northern states. We have details of these and more stories for you right after this break. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching the live broadcast of the Global AM News here on Global Television. Let's take you to the foreign scene now, where a team of experts from the International Civil Aviation Organization, the United Nations agency that regulates the global aviation industry, has arrived to Nigeria to carry out security audits of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and then Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The audit will cover critical aviation security areas such as in-flight security, passenger and baggage security, acts of unlawful interference, facilitation, legislation, training, quality control function, operations and cargo, as well as mail and catering. Away from Africa now, a Brooklyn preacher, Lamar Miller Whitehead, was found guilty in the federal courts of wire fraud, attempted extortion, and lying to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, according to the Associated Press, following a trial that commenced late last month in federal courts in Manhattan, New York. A 47-year-old Miller Whitehead was found guilty on 5 counts. Prosecutors alleged that Miller Whitehead had deceived a parishioner into surrendering $90,000 from her retirement savings, falsely promising to secure housing for her and invest the remainder in his real estate ventures. Instead, they claimed, however, he squandered the funds on luxury goods and clothing. Prosecutors argued that he exaggerated his connections to Mayor Eric Adams and succumbed to greed, letting greed overtake him as he looted a parishioner's retirement savings and tried to extort a businessman to fuel his lavish lifestyle. And as I will wrap it up here on the Global AM News, thank you everyone for watching. The rest of Global Morning with Anthony Mamadou returns shortly. I'm Uyag Mofwebe. I'll see you soon.
All right, welcome back to the program. It's still Global Morning, and we're still looking at very interesting happenings in Nigeria. It's now time where we look at what the papers are saying this morning, but before we delve fully into the papers, we've got a very interesting talking point that we would like to put our searchlight on. It as regards the comments of a revived and also respected Islamic cleric from Kaduna State, the person of Sheikh Gumi, who has urged the president, current president Ahmed Tinubu, to give him the approval to negotiate with the bandits as a way of reaching a compromise. And it's been a very disturbing comment, and a lot of Nigerians are looking at the implications of that comment and proposal by the Islamic Sheikh Gumi, asking for Mr. President to, as a matter of urgency, allow him to talk with the bandits so that they can negotiate. But the question is, why has he consistently played that role of being the spokesperson of bandits? Does he have any ulterior motives? Is he the leader of this bandit group terrorizing Nigerians, killing Nigerians on a daily basis, maiming them, and also kidnapping for ransom? Should the security agencies hold forth him and make him safe, or try to get more information from Sheikh Gumi as regards what his relationship is with the bandits? Why is he so free to walk into the enclaves of the bandits and come out unhurt, and consistently play the role of a spokesperson of the bandits if he doesn't have any ulterior motives and inclinations with the bandits? All right, I've got Sunday Yemi, who is the former producer of Kakaki, the African Voice on African Independent Television, AIT, who is my guest this morning to help us look at what the papers are saying. But before we delve into the papers, like I said, we will be giving a chat on Sheikh Gumi, who is hopefully the picture is going to be on your screen so that we know the man we're talking about this morning. Good morning. Nice to have you join us on the program.
Thank you for
let's look at the man, Sheikh Gumi, and his utterances, urging Mr. President not to follow the footsteps of ex-Vice President Muhammadu Buhari, who rejected the proposal of negotiating or dialoguing with the bandits. Do you think Sheikh Gumi has an ulterior motive?
Well, I wouldn't want to say Sheikh has an ulterior motive in regards to this kidnap issue. One thing you must know, Sheikh Gumi is a Muslim cleric. He is also a father. He is concerned, and by doing that, what he said, by doing that, he's offering himself, because bandits can easily take him. But if they are taking him for the sake of trying to save the Nigerian girls, these girls are Nigerians. So forget about the fact that they were kidnapped in Kaduna. These girls are Nigerians, or these pupils are Nigerians. So he is offering, okay, fine, let me please allow me, let me dialogue with these people, so long as it has no monetary aspect in it. You understand? So long as he is not coming to say, okay, they said we should give, because I learned here asking for billions of naira. So now, if there is no monetary implication to what he has offered to do, well and good, let him go. He is a father. You understand? This man is a father.
A father that supports only the bandits?
Is it because he's supporting the bandit that we know that he's supporting the bandits now? He might have been supporting other people, but it's not brought to public glare. So let us give him the benefit of the doubt. If he knows he can be able to intercede on behalf of the federal government or the state government, let him go ahead and do it.
Oh, okay, let's look at the fact that the ex-Vice President, Muhammadu Buhari, rejected his proposal. Are you saying the president does not know?
You see, in that case, they didn't even want to give him the credit. You know, they were telling us every day, these children, let's talk about the Chibok girls. Let's talk about the other girls that were also kidnapped in Beningwari or thereabout during the period of President Buhari. He said, I offer myself to go there and negotiate with this bandit for the release of these children. They knew he might be able to do it, but they didn't want to give him the credit. And every day, until Buhari left, every day they keep telling Nigerians, we are close to them, we are close to them, they will soon be back. Up till now, they have not come back. Some of them, like the Chibok girls, are 9 years, 23 days now. The Chibok girls, 9 years, 23 days. The NYC people in Sokoto, they are, how many? They are 5 months plus now. So we keep counting days for them. And these Cardinal girls of East, today is the 6th day. And they are still there. No information about them. The next thing is that we hear, just as we heard about Leah Sharibu. Leah Sharibu has given birth to about 2 or 3 children.
So are you saying it's the fact that they didn't give this man on our picture, on our TV set, Sheikh Gumi, credit, that's why they didn't get the girls released? Is it doing it for the credit, or is it doing sincerely?
No, not even that. You know, when bandits kidnap, the next day they start asking for ransom. Now, federal government has said they are not ready to pay any ransom. We have the military, we have other security agencies. When you talk about the forest in the north, sometimes some of us from the south want to say, maybe these people don't even know what they call forest. Because if you go to the southern part of the country, where you have forests and interlocking trees, even at the heaviest sunshine, sun will not come down. And you are talking about looking at Sahel and call it forest, where you can stand somewhere and see kilometers away, several kilometers away, and you call it forest. So these people are just hiding in shrubs there. See, let me tell you, Tony, let me tell you one thing. Let us call a spade for once in this country and be able to do what is right without putting monetary aspect in front. We should be able to look at us as Nigerians and look at the situation on ground. These children need help. They have been kidnapped. They are away from their parents now. Their parents are thinking. You understand? Their parents are thinking. If you are a father or a mother...
But the question is, we understand that these are children, the parents are worried, and what we are saying is, what is that connection between Sheikh and this bandit that after Buhari's tenure, this is a new government, he's still the spokesperson?
Well, I wouldn't understand the connection between them.
Okay, but why wouldn't the security agencies take this man in and get the relevant information? Because it's not just normal. You don't wake up every morning. He's not the only cleric.
I agree with you.
Yeah, he's not the only cleric, Muslim cleric.
I agree with you in that aspect. Now, if he's going to intercede on behalf of the government in the release of this pupils,
yes, pupils,
you understand? He should go with security agencies. You know, the connection between him, because some of these people, you never can tell. Maybe he had taught them. You know, maybe he had taught them in Islamic way. Yeah. You understand? But teaching them does not mean that he's teaching them to go and kidnap. He's teaching them, maybe he taught them the tenets of Islam.
But the tenet of Islam does not allow for the killing and kidnapping of fellow.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. The tenet of Islam, just as in Christianity too, does not allow or encourage you to go and do anything bad.
Yes.
The tenet of Islam and the tenet of Christianity is peace. Living with one another in peace. But, you know, there are some bad elements. No matter how good a society is, there are some bad elements in it. And that is how this bad element will keep encouraging others into their fold, and they are doing what we are doing today, what they are doing today. So I'm not blaming Sheikh Gumi. Sheikh Gumi has good intention. He wants to release his people. I'm not speaking for him anyway.
Okay.
I have never met him. So he may have good intention. So it's that for the federal government to say, okay, fine, let us give you the go-ahead, either the federal or state government. But you must go with security men. You understand? You must go with security men and negotiate with these people for the safe release of these people back to their parents.
Okay, let's look at the fact that if the government gives him the go-ahead, do you think, since he has an influence and a link with this bandit, do you think he would have done more in trying to end this banditry we're suffering? If he has that connection, that link with them, and he has an influence over them, why is he not pushing for the ending of this banditry rather than just wait until they kidnap people, then he wants to play that role? Is there something amiss there?
Again, you may not have known too the role he might have been playing at the background. Now, if he's given the go-ahead to do what he intends to do, what he said he wants to do, in that process, he might meet one-on-one with the bandits. You understand? Or the leaders of the bandit. It might not be all of them, but the leadership of the bandit. And he will be able to talk to them. He can talk to them to seize action on whatever they are doing. And that will be a plus for him. You understand? That might be a plus for him, because he would have achieved what government on its own had not been able to achieve. So why not give him the benefit of the doubt? Let him go there and try out. If he doesn't succeed, he will come out, oh, well, I met them or I did not meet them. Okay, I met them, I spoke with them, and they said they are not going to accept my plea. So let us give him the benefit of the doubt. For him to go there, and we see the efforts he can be able to make, and from there we know if he's telling Nigerians genuinely what he intends to do or not.
Okay, you know, he said this dialogue with Gumi shouldn't be just about the bandits, shouldn't be just about the people that were, you know, kidnapped, but for all cases. When he says for all cases, doesn't that imply that for all the banditry and all the kidnappings that has been going through is the same group of people that are perpetrating in the same group of people he has links with? Doesn't that give further, you know, indictment on the part of Gumi that he is in control or knows, is in the know of all this, you know, insecurity and banditry going across the nation?
See, it depends on how we as individuals may look at it. Now, you go into exams. You have been taught on what to do. Now, sometimes, you know that you go there into the exam hall and what you were taught escapes you. Okay. What you were taught escapes you. And sometimes you go there and what you were taught, you remember it. So let us give, as I said earlier, Gumi may not have known these people.
Well,
he may have known them.
But he's saying that he wants to negotiate for all the
Now, cases. It is fine. How many of those cases can one person negotiate for? Because it's not only about Kaduna now. You are talking about, Kaduna is one big state, because let me tell you, if you come in from, say, Mokwa area towards Kaduna, by the time you get to where you say, this is Binigwari, it will take you another 3-4 hours to get to Kaduna itself. So, and that place is a land that you can see over 10 kilometers away. So now that's one point. There are bandits in Kano, there are bandits in Zamfara, there are bandits in Sokoto, not to talk about the home of the bandit, which is Borno. So can one person be able to intercede in all of Aba? Let us call a spade a spade. Which should be, if he says he has control over those in Kaduna, okay, let us give him that power. But another person should be able to come up and say, okay, in Borno, I can take care of these people. We give that person another chance too. Right. But where were you when this thing took place, now that you want to intercede?
All right, that's the question I hope Sheikh Gumi and the relevant security agencies will be asking him as we look at this issue about proposing to the federal government to allow him lead negotiations between him, the federal government, and the bandits. And so we leave that discourse at that and hoping that the security agencies, the federal government, will do the needful to call Sheikh Gumi to question and to probably, if they're going to accept his proposal, and see how banditry could be ended in Nigeria. All right, let's look at the papers. Let's begin with the Guardian newspaper this morning and all the big headlines on the Guardian. We've got a 500 million naira awards to ranking senators on settle, expose the rot in the National Assembly is the big headline story there. And we've got a court strikes out suit seeking Igbo's exit from Nigeria. That's a big story you find on page 29 of the Guardian. We've got revival of night patrol as prelude to reforming the police. You find that editorial on page 12 of the Guardian. Nigerians lament rising airfares as experts blame exchange rate. Find that story on page 5 of the Guardian. WTO inaugurated $1.2 million facility to boost food safety in Nigeria. It's the big headline story that we find only on page 3 of the Guardian. And we've got a bandit capture another 30 as IGP visits Kaduna. I bet you Sheikh Gumi has something to say about that.
He really has.
Yeah, so
he has enough work to do there.
More job to do there on page 3 of the Guardian. All right, let's look at the Guardian quickly. Bandit, like we just said, captures another 30, and IGP visits Kaduna. We'll be expecting Sheikh Gumi to be in this. On top of this,
you see, the IGP visited Kaduna to sympathize with those families that their children were taken away.
Okay.
And unknown to him, they wanted to baptize his coming to Kaduna, where another 30. But another newspaper put it at 61. I saw it this morning.
Okay. What does that tell us about the security architecture of Kaduna State?
In fact, I had thought that with the experience 5 days or 6 days ago of the kidnap of those people,
yeah,
security would have beefed up in such a way that it will be close, a top-notch security type. But you see, it looks as if security was rather loose for another set to be picked up from that same state in a matter of days. And it does not speak well that it happened when the Inspector General of Police visited that state. It doesn't speak well for Nigerian security at all. I mean, let us look, where are we going to?
Very sad commentary. All right, let's move on. We've got a budget pardon. We are all culpable. Is the kicker there, and says a 500 million naira awards to ranking senators on settle and expose the rough. Are we surprised about this?
I am not very surprised.
Is this part of why some should give Ningi some credit?
Unfortunately, Ningi was allowed to take the center stage yesterday. This very allegation
was played down.
No, they tried to play it down. If not for live telecast, Nigerians would not have known about this. But it was on live almost all the major TV stations were on live telecast at the National Assembly, Senate specifically, where Jarigbe Agom stood up to drop this information that some senators who said they are ranking were given 500 million naira each. That was last month. That he is also a ranking senator. He never got a dime. So that was where the bubble got burst. And do you know that he had the floor when the Senate became rowdy and he was shouting, I still have the floor, until when they finished, they came back. In fact, they came back to Ningi issue. They
played it down.
They played that 500 million award down. They never mentioned it again until they left the chambers. So now you can see, and one senator now later said, yes, that 500 million naira was not given to them personally. It was part of their constituency project, yes. And it was in the budget. So they are not using it as the contractor. They are only going to say, this is what we want in our constituency, and the authority concerned will now award the contract and monitor it. But Agom was saying that he never had that opportunity, even as a ranking senator. He never even had the opportunity to receive that money. So does it mean that he has no constituents where constituency projects should be cited? And in Cross River North. So you see where we are going. The disparity, even in the Senate.
Very sad commentary there, very sad commentary. Let's quickly move on to other stories. We've got from The Guardian. Let's see, we've got the Leadership newspaper up next for review. Big story there. 3 trillion budget pardon is the key card. Nengi's journey to 3 month suspension is the big headline there on the center page. And we've got the 3 burning children die. 45,783 IDPs rendered homeless by fire is a sad story coming out from Borno State there. And we've got other headlines. President appoints FCT Commission Chair and Head of Service. Bandit demand 20 million naira ransom for 15 Sokoto students is the headline story there. And we've got Dayo Muborewa appointed as a NIMASA DG, while Shaibu denies being served impeachment notice. Tinubu has you in mind, Shetima tells Nigerians. All right, Nigerians have a lot to say when it comes to that. Okay, let's quickly look at leadership. A quick one there. We've got Shaibu denies being served impeachment notice. PDP still in crisis in Edo State.
I said, Edo State in the news for the wrong reasons. This is the second time attempts have been made to impeach Shaibu. And you see, ordinarily, Shaibu should look at his chessboard to say it is time to quit.
Is it quitting or moving to the next political party? Which is the best option for him?
As deputy governor.
Okay.
You understand? If he moves to another political party as deputy governor, of course you know that salt and water cannot mix. One will dissolve for the other. So now let me tell you, they have problems, and this problem has been on for more than 2 years now, where as a governor, feels that his deputy, somebody that he picked as his running mate, does not respect him. Ordinarily in some states, you know that there is that cordial relationship between the deputies and the governor. In fact, if you see that your boss is trying to be one kind, just even if you are pretending, give him that loyalty, even if by pretense, until when you are at the edge of leaving, then you can now say, okay, fine, I'm a deputy governor, let me see. But Philip Shaibu showed his traits so early enough that the man now said, Obaseki now said, Kai, I don't think this man is loyal to me. And forget about the fact that he wears khaki like a comrade. You understand? Shaibu cannot match Obaseki if Obaseki wants to wield the state powers on him, just as he's doing now. Though some people have come out to say, look, it's not in our interest, especially the party.
Yes.
It's not in our interest. You can't do this. Otherwise, you want a situation where another party will just come and take away the state from us. So let us just see how it plays out. But Shaibu should also know that he is at a verge, very close to the ravine. And if he falls down, nobody can even see him for where he will even pick up from.
All right, very scary, commendations there as regards what's played out in Edo State. Let's quickly move on and see the Nigerian Tribune quickly. We've got the big story there talking about Ayodatiwa formally declares for Ondo governorship elections. There's some. We also have WTO to boost Nigeria's non-oil export water, $1.2 million. But going to Ondo State, that was now throwing his hat into the ring for governorship. We know that we hear that some APC, only 16 APC chieftains are endorsing his candidature, while some are of the opposing side of the divide. How do you see this playing out?
I heard that Atiwa is trying to live up to his name. He succeeded. He was the deputy governor. He succeeded his late boss,
yes,
of Rotimi, of blessed memory, and he was to continue from where, as a tight ticket, where the boss stopped. Fine, he has declared his intention. He wants to run for the governorship of Ondo State. It is now for the delegates, when it comes to the primaries, to say, okay, Ayedatiwa, we want you to run, to continue, or we don't want you. That is how politics is. But now, you know that he has the state machinery working for him. I saw a declaration somewhere he made in Ondo town, another one in a Fuala site, if you know that area very well, okay, where almost everybody was saying, Ayedatiwa is our man, is our man. I just looked at it, I said, because this man is the governor today, nobody can sit down and say, we don't want him. But one clever guy just came to television and said, Ayedatiwa, yes, he would have come out to say he is going to contest. But this is a man that never planned, in fact, he was never anywhere politically before Rotimi brought him to become the deputy governor. He had no structure
on ground.
So, you know, look at the time Rotimi died, that he became governor, and now, you know, it's difficult to build a political structure. But there are some people there in that state that have built political structures from the ward level to the state. So I don't see whether he will use state machinery to buy up all those structures and become his or not. Let's see how.
Well, do you think the APC can help him achieve his dream, or do you think the APC also have reservations?
Well, as a party, you see, that's one thing I don't normally like in a Nigerian political system. As a party, I think you wait for the people to, I'm talking about the party at the national secretariat now. You wait for the people in the state to decide who they want
before
you now come out to say, okay, you are our candidate. But not from top. You now start. I saw what happened in Edo State a few weeks ago. A minute party, NNPP. You see the interest that was played out when they were trying to get Aleri as their governorship candidate. The party at the top, the chairman has his own candidate. The leader of the party has his own candidate. The states, they have their own candidate.
Okay. So let's wrap our conversation up now. So finally, in terms of what's playing out, you believe Ayedatiwa has a chance with the state machineries?
Well, with the state, I think as it is now, as a governor, I think he has a chance.
All right, that's how much we can take on the newspaper review segment. I want to say a big thank you to Sunday Ayebi, who has helped us look at the big talking point. We began with the proposal by Sheikh Gumi, who has called on President Ahmed Tinubu to give him the approval to speak to bandit, and also for him to lead the negotiation for all the cases of banditry in Nigeria. And so we'll be waiting for the response of the presidency. And we also looked at the papers, The Guardian, Tribune, and others, looking at the top stories. We'll go for a quick break. When we return from the break, Africa's Finest Breakfast Show, Global Morning, continues with lots of discourse. We'll be having Kester Elebe Sunu, who is a lawyer and activist, will be joining us as we look at the budget pardon. You know, saga still going on, and the aftermath of the suspension of Senator Ningi. We'll be looking at the wider implications of all this after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Africa's Finest Breakfast Show, Global Morning, and we're still looking at a very salient issues making the rounds in Nigeria. It's now time for us to key into one of the biggest news in Nigeria, which has to do with the suspension of Senator Abdul Ningi due to his allegation of Nigeria, having two separate budgets, one of 25 trillion and one of 28.7 trillion, which is presently being operated according to him, which led to his eventual 3 months suspension. We'll be looking at the intricacies of these suspension, the wider implication, and also we know that the president did meet with the top officials of the National Assembly yesterday after the suspension of the senator. So we'll be looking at the implication of all these issues. And one man has been given the task of helping us with this. He's not a person but Kester Elebe Sunu, who is a lawyer and also an activist. Good morning, Kester. Nice to have you join us on Global Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Tony. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and you too. All
Very
right, let's begin our discourse with the eventual suspension of Senator Abdul Ningi. There were some revelations after he talked about the budget padding, the fact that as much as 500 million was given to some high-ranking senators, which that talk has been played down. And also we know that yesterday the president met with Godswill Akpabio and some officials of the Senate after the suspension of Ningi. And also we also have a reliable source that he has also stepped down or resigned as the chairman of the Northern Senators Forum. Let's look at the implication of all this that has played out in the last 48 hours.
Good morning again, Mr. Tony. Glad to be on this program this morning. The reality of the current topic of discourse, which is the revelations by some senators being led by Abdul Ningi, that is the distinguished senator representing Bauchi Central Senatorial District of Bauchi State. The revelation is quite disturbing, and it should not be one that should be treated with levity, because it says a lot about goings on at the National Assembly. If, and I repeat, if there's any element of truth, in it, it will not all go well for the progress and economy of our dear nation. So I say if because as a lawyer, I know that he who asserts must prove, and I know that all allegations must be proven beyond reasonable doubt. It's not enough to just bandy claims and allegations, because of course, the person making those allegations may have sinister ulterior motives. So, however, my point is that the Nigerian government, the National Assembly, should not rest on their oars until they look at the implications and look at the veracity or validity of these allegations or claims. It is worrisome that in this day and age, something should still be happening. But it's very worrisome, and it doesn't all go well for our national economy. So I think it should be investigated thoroughly.
Okay, looking at the fact that now he's been suspended for 3 months, and the presidency did have a quick meeting with the top echelon of the Senate yesterday after the suspension. What does that tell us as regards what implications will be for the president to have the audience of the Senate president yesterday and other chieftains of the National Assembly as regards the suspension? Do you see it's been lifted before the 3 months, and do you think it was too quick for that action to have occurred?
Well, really and truly, I am sure that
we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
If you look at the, can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
Okay, if you look at the process by which Senator Nengi was suspended, Senator Olamilekan Adeola had to come under orders 9, 10, 41, and 51 of the rules of the House, of the Senate, to move a motion, privilege and issue of national importance against Nengi. First and foremost, the process by which Abdul Nengi went about making his allegations and revelations were against the rules of the House, and were against the public interest. You don't make such allegations on an interview with the BBC. You understand? He first made these allegations on Saturday during an interview with the BBC. You know, and then these are allegations that he knows better. You know, he's a senator. He knows that if he has evidence, of course, he has to come properly under the rules of the National Assembly. And if those allegations are not properly investigated, at that point, he cannot say, well, I actually submitted myself or these allegations to due process, and it was not well attended to. And then you can go to the presidency and then, of course, seek legal redress. But he went ahead, you know, to go to the court of public opinion. So that raises the question. Is this not just a rabble-rousing attempt? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is it not a rabble-rousing attempt by a senator who is discontented, probably with the power shift or the power play in the National Assembly and wants to cause problems? You know, because the forum in which he made some revelations is not proper. So I'm sure his suspension was actually in line with the procedures of the House. So I'm aware that the suspension is for 3 months. So and I'm sure that the National Assembly will want to nip such attitude in his board, and I'm sure they will use him as an example or a scapegoat. So I doubt if the suspension will be lifted before the 3 months ends. However, I am curious to see what the presidency will do about these allegations. And I'm happy that they, of course,
okay. All right. I think
we need to await. Yeah, I'm sure they are looking at it seriously.
Okay. All right. Let's look at the issue of the 500 million naira that was said to be given to high-ranking senators. Do you think this will quiet that part of the revelation, and how important is it that it's well talked about and brought to the fore?
These are mere allegations. Allegations something doesn't make it necessarily true. So I would want to say let's keep the gunpowder dry. This is not the first time we are hearing such allegations, especially in the National Assembly of Ghana must grow, extending hands and things like that. So I'm sure that now it has come to the public space. I would also encourage civil society organizations to ask questions under the Freedom of Information Act. You know, if for me that Senator Nengi has brought this to the public space is an opportunity for civil society organizations to x-ray the budget that was passed and the budget that is in the public space, and then to give credence to the allegations or the validity of such allegations. And then, of course, if it is true, there's due process. You seek legal redress.
Okay.
To call the National Assembly to order. Yes.
All right. Let's get your take. The majority leader of the Senate, talking about Opeyemi Bamidele, made some very sweeping comment, suggesting that there's this plan by Nengi and some of his cohorts to, as a way of impeach or remove the Senate President Godswill Akpabio from office. Do you see any truth in that? And would you say also that the Senate President Godswill Akpabio has also made very, very disturbing comments over time? We heard about the comment he made in Wigwe's funeral, where he said the Labour Party presidential candidate in President Peter Obi was better received than him, and other comments where he also accused state governors of collecting monies to better the lives of their people, but never used it And also the XY CBN governor, where he also alleged that the current administration didn't know what charges to prefer against Emefiele. Do you think he's chewing more than he can bite?
Well, the reality is that the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, is a very highly controversial figure. He's highly controversial politicians. And my opinion is that his media handlers should do a lot more, a lot better, you know, in handling his media pronouncements and things like that. For example, if I know the nature of my principle is to be controversial, I would take steps to ensure that whatever he says will not be misinterpreted and misconstrued by the public and by the press. So I think that the ball, for me, the ball of responsibility lies in the hands of his media handlers, his aides, you know. You remember that at some point, the previous administration, President Buhari made pronouncements that were misinterpreted and misconstrued until his media handlers actually became proactive to ensure that only one channel of communication was known, you know, and all that. And then when pronouncements were made by the president, it was pronouncement that was based on facts and not on speculations and things. So I think that the media handlers of the Senate president need to have a lot of work to do. That's my opinion.
Okay, but in terms of the majority leaders claim that some persons want to oust him from the seat of the presidency of the Senate, do you think that's true? And is it a possibility?
Of course, I mean, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown, as it is commonly said. You know, that's the highly coveted position. And if whoever is there is not up to the task, I mean, it's politics. The field is a level playing field. Whoever feels that they can do better should, of course, aspire to such. But all these aspirations, political aspirations, should be at the interest of the public, at the interest of the Nigerian people. Otherwise, for your selfish interest, Nigerians are actually, you know, suffering. Nigerians are in need of good governance. So we need leaders who can actually walk the talk. So if the Senate president is unable to do so, I think I wouldn't have any issues against anybody impeaching him within the process, within the rules of the House. You understand? So the allegations or claims by the Senate president that people are trying to impeach him is neither here nor there. It's political talk. If he does the needful, does good by Nigerians, I think that he will have the support of the vast majority of the National Assembly and, of course, the Nigerian public. So he should do his job and stop, you know, making allegations, making claims of threat of, you know, being impeached.
Okay, let's just to wrap it up in terms of talking about the budget padding issue before we get a quick take on one other major issue. Let's look at Ningi now. What do you expect from Senator Ningi in the coming months for these 3 months that he's currently being suspended? And do you think the Northern Senators Forum, now that he has also resigned from that forum, what the implications might be? And do you think the Northern Bloc would be very happy with what has played out?
Well, I have never been comfortable with ethnic politics. We are all Nigerians, and all that we say and do should be for the common good of Nigeria, not for just an ethnic enclave to the exclusion of others. So his office or his position as the head of the Northern Senators Forum, to me, is neither here nor there. Whether he resigns or not, that is not my interest. My interest is that this should not become an ethnic or a religious debate. The issues are clear and very simple. If the budget has been padded against the interests of Nigeria, that issue should be you know, objectively investigated, and the persons found wanting should be brought to book. That is it. So if the Northern Senators are the ones making these allegations in the interest of Nigeria, me, myself, as a Southerner, will support them because I know it is for the good of Nigeria. I don't know if you understand. So I want to disabuse people's minds that we should not start entering into this stereotypes of northern, southern, and all that. We are all Nigerians. I champion the cause of Senator Naingi, assuming without conceding that these allegations are true and that he has evidence to buttress these allegations. I encourage him to use the appropriate medium to ventilate these allegations so that the government and all and ensure that those who are found guilty be brought to book without any ethnic coloration to these activities, please.
All right. Why I asked you that question that seemed to have to do with ethnicity was because Bamidele, who is the majority leader, did raise the issue that it's been 40 years last when someone from the South was the Senate president. And he said that when people from the other regions of the country, David Mark and co, were the Senate president, they had peaceful reign. But once he came to the South, the Northern group and some senators deliberately wants to rock the boat. How do you see that playing out?
Well, that for me is a knee-jerk response to the allegations, which are serious. That doesn't cut it for me. Mr. Momodu, if somebody says you have stolen a meat from a pot of soup and your only defense is that just because you are finer than the person who made the allegations, or because your wife is more beautiful, that will not be a defense. The issue will be, did you steal the meat or you did not steal the meat? If you didn't steal the meat, can you debunk the allegation? So that is neither here nor there, my brother. That is neither, it goes to no issue. If the issue was the budget padded, I'm happy that Senator Akpabio admitted himself that Senator Naingi claims to have evidence to buttress his allegations and that he has documents. So I'm really curious to see those documents in the public domain. And I'm sure that the security agencies are gearing up to investigate all these allegations and bring the culprits to book.
All right. My final question will be, with this suspension now, do you think it's going to quiet other senators who might have reservations or concerns as regards certain other activities that might not be of public interest, but because of what has happened, might decide to shoot their sword? Because we got a statement from former senator in the person of Shehu Sani, who made a very interesting comment as regards to when he says a suspension in Senate means a senator will not be allowed to attend plenary and will be prohibited from attending committee meetings and participating in oversight functions. His salary allowances and all entitlement will be blocked. He said he will not have access to his office and he's expected not to be seen within the premises of the National Assembly until the suspension is lifted. When I publicly disclosed the salaries and running costs of lawmakers, it was then Senate President who saved me from suspension. If you talk too much, your body go tell you. That is why even opposition no fit oppose too much. This is Sani Shehu saying this. Is this good for our democracy if somebody speaks truth to power or seems to reveal too much? He gets sidelined. How bad is this for our democracy?
Well, it goes to show that corruption is fighting back, and then for me, it is not a positive one. But like I said before, it's in the public space, and lovers of democracy and lovers of good governance, I'm sure, will be gearing up to join this fight. For me, it's a fight between good governance and corruption. It's a fight between probity and accountability and corruption. It's a fight between a well-meaning Nigerians and corrupt elements in our government. It's not just about Senator Naingi now. Yes, Senator Naingi is the one that bears the cat, as it were. We always say in Nigeria, So all of us who think that who know that we want good governance, who know that we want corruption to be brought down to the barest minimum, should join this cry, this call for probity, for accountability, call for investigation. Now, if Senator Naingi is being victimized by the National Assembly, as you just opined, it is nothing surprising. But the National Assembly did not elect him to that position. So there's a limit to which they can suppress his rights as a senator. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So the National Assembly, yes, where the right of National Assembly to restrict his activities as a senator ends, his own right as a senator duly elected by the people of Bauchi Central begins. So if any of his rights as a senator has been breached, of course, that is where the judiciary comes in. There should be judicial interpretation of the validity or legality of the suspension or the terms of the suspension. I'm sure this is not the first time senators have been suspended in the National Assembly.
Okay.
And there have been various judicial pronouncements as to those, the effect of those suspensions.
All right, Kester Elebe Sunu, thank you very much for joining us this morning, and thank you for your very sound analysis of that talking point. We hope in the coming hours we'll hear from you, and we urge you to enjoy the rest of your day and like the color of your tie. Good morning. Thank
you so much, Mr. Tony. Have a blessed day. Good morning.
All right, we'll go for a very quick break. When we return, we'll be talking to Osula Osa Paul, who is the PDP chairman for Oredo local government area. He'll be our next guest after this break as we look at what is playing out in Edo State. That will be after this break. We'll be joining the Oredo local government chairman for the PDP in the person of Osula Osa Paul, who will be our guest after this very short break. Stay with us. All right, welcome back from the break. You're still watching Africa's Finest Breakfast Show. It's Global Morning, and it's Global Television, where we are at right now as we look at a very interesting talking point. We've reached the business end of the program. It's now time for us to focus to the next talking point, which has to do with the Edo PDP crisis. The implications for the party at the polls come September is what we're looking at already. One of the main talking points has to be the fact that the office of the Deputy Governor of the state, Philip Shaibu, on Tuesday denied that an impeachment notice was served on the Deputy Governor by the State House of Assembly. It denied the allegations made by the lawmakers that Shaibu was evading service, leading to the lawmakers' decision to publish the impeachment notice in a national daily. The State Assembly last Wednesday commenced the impeachment proceedings against Shaibu, accusing him of perjury and leaking the government secrets. The impeachment move is believed to be the latest development in the rift between Shaibu and his principal governor, talking about Godwin Obaseki. There has been an uneasy camp between the deputy governor and his principal since last year, when Shaibu declared his interest to join this year's Edo governorship race. Let's also let you know that the Assembly directed its clerk to serve Shaibu with impeachment notice, saying he had 7 days to respond. However, the Assembly on Monday alleged that the deputy governor was evading service and therefore decided to serve him by substituted means through national publication. And that's where we are right now. And so we'll be joined via Zoom by another person, but Osula Osa Paul, who is the PDP Ward Chairman for Edo Local Government area in Edo State. We're hoping he was going to be connecting with us via Zoom so that we can get his take as regards what is playing out as regards the crisis in Edo State, and also on the national level, the People's Democratic Party, their chances in the coming elections in September. Let's go for a very quick break. When we return from the break, the discourse continues. Stay with us. So welcome back from the break. You're watching Africa's finest breakfast show, Global Morning, on Global Television, and it's now time for us to hit the discuss button as we look at the Edo PDP crisis, the implication for the party come September at the governorship polls that we'll be holding. All right, we've got a guest who is joining us. He is the PDP chairman for Edo local government area. He's no other person but Osula Paul Osa, who will be helping us look at the crisis playing out in Edo State, the implication for the party in the state level and also on the national level. Osula, thank you for joining us this morning on Global Television.
Good morning. It's beautiful to be with you.
All right, let's look at the PDP and the so many crises it got itself involved in, from the primaries to this current day, where we know that the House of Assembly is also pushing for something which seems to put the party in a bad light. Can you just give us a rundown of what is truly happening to the People's Democratic Party in Edo State?
Thank you. Colleague at the studio, good morning to you all. Yeah. My name is Paul Osula. I'm the PDP chairman, Ward 1, Oredo. From the way we look at it, the PDP is a national party and is a party of leaders, as a leadership party. So we really don't have much to say at the ward level. The greater part of the party, which is the national or the national working committee, take decisions on behalf of the party. From the days of primaries till now, the party has actually been in disarray. But the acting national chairman of the party is using the national working committee with the internal mechanism to unite the party. What is happening to PDP now is not strange. It can happen in any political party, whether you call it Labour, APC, SDP, or what have you, or even in the family sector, or you can say in the church, even in the church. The moment there is an election, some people must be aggrieved. Some will not be happy with the process of election. Some will say the process was fair, some say it's unfair. So however you look at it, the party has set up a reconciliation committee to look into the party affairs, the crisis rocking the PDP. So on that ground, till the National Working Committee, a panel for appeal, comes out with their report, I don't think I'm in the right position to decide for the party or to make decision for the party.
All right, let's look at what's playing out in the party now. How do you think it's going to affect the party come September, when other parties will be gunning for the #1 seat of Edo State?
Okay. In that regard, definitely, as I've said, the party has been in disarray, and it means that there's no unity. The center cannot hold now. But looking at the candidate who emerged at the party primaries, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Looking at the candidate who emerged at the party primary, Aswe Ighodalo, okay. He has on his own tried to unify the party. He has moved from one problematic area to another, trying to solve the issue that has rocked the party. Even before his emergence, this crisis has been there since the general election, and since he has emerged, he's doing his best to put everybody together. If we go to election with this division, the party cannot make it in the election. It's just like having you have a full team, a football team, and okay. your attackers are not performing well. They are not putting the ball at the right position. Probably they are hungry. Probably they are not happy with the coach. Probably they are not happy with the captain of the team. So you can see that this disunity amongst them cannot make the football match go well. So also it applies to political parties. When the mercenaries that are going to do the work, the field generals, like the ward chairman, they are not happy. So there's no way you can go to the field fully and come back with better results. So they should try to put the party in order, let everybody be happy, let us reconcile whatever we have so that the party can do well in the general election come September.
All right, we cannot shy away from the fact that we know that the current governor, Godwin Obaseki, and his deputy are at loggerheads. Looking at this, how would this also, do you think the governor is not being considerate, knowing that the party's chances at stake, him not supporting his deputy, and his deputy also not in good terms with his principal?
Well, for that issue, as I've said,
yes,
at the beginning, that PDP is a leadership party, and it operates at the national level. We are at the grassroots. I'm not really in position to say that, but I can show you that no matter how it is, the tongue and the teeth, they live together. Sometimes they quarrel.
True.
And at the last, when time comes, they also settle themselves so that the mechanism can function well. So I know that whatever is happening between the governor and the deputy is a family issue, and I feel it can be resolved.
Okay,
proper channels.
Okay, let's look at the possibility. Some people have said that there's a possibility the deputy might decide to defect to another party if at the end of the day this impeachment process that is being initiated against him works out. Do you think the PDP is going to suffer a lot if they lose someone with his caliber moving to another party?
That is not the question we should all be listening to or praying to happen or praying to be asked.
Okay.
If the deputy governor is from another senatorial district of the state, and the governor is from another senatorial district, the state has 3 senatorial districts, and the deputy governor is the head of one of those districts, if no matter what it is, if even the party does not need him to win,
okay,
but instead of you having 70% and you now have 55%, it's still a minus to the party.
True.
So I think it will be better these things are put together. I wouldn't want the deputy governor to even decamp, but this matter can be settled or resolved amicably as a family problem.
All right, let's look at the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party. Would you say at the national level they've done enough to bring peace, just like you have rightly pointed out that Ighodalo is doing all he can to bring peace amongst the PDP members in the state? On the national level, do you think the national chairman, the National Working Committee, they've done enough to ensure that there's peace across board?
As I said earlier, that the reconciliation panel, which is the appeal panel, is still on.
Okay.
They will be meeting tomorrow with every candidate who have contested. I am aware that there is a meeting tomorrow, Thursday, in the National Working Committee will be meeting with them. So I don't want to dabble into the process of their reconciliation. I don't know what is going to be the outcome. And I think we should just wait for them. Let us hear what they will tell us before we can now decide on what to do.
All right, let's look at the other parties that will be in contention against the PDP for the #1 seat. We've got the Labour Party, the APC, and other parties. What do you think are the chances of these other parties against the PDP?
Like in Edo?
Yes.
Like in Edo, the #1 party is PDP.
Okay.
And we can say the Labour Party and the APC. And if we check the chances, Mr. Governor Obaseki has done well. And when you talk about infrastructural development in the state,
okay,
taking the state to another level, to a third world to a third world development. He has tried in that area, checked the civil service structure, check the facilities that you have, check the human capacity development in civil service system. When you check all that compared to other states like Lagos, like Abuja, even Port Harcourt, you see that the civil service system is upgraded and putting government out of rent, stopping leakages from government coffers and all that. You see that he has tried very well, and if you say that I should grade the performance of the governor comparing to election, I think Mr. Governor has done 70%. And looking at the choice of candidate that is coming in, the barrister Aswell Ighodalo, who is going to be the party bearer, and I think him on his own has a pedigree, and none of the candidates can be compared to him. This issue is the issue of the masses, not really for the party. The party executive party members only have like 15% of the vote. The rest belong to the masses. People who don't attend meeting, who goes out on that day to vote, who read about candidates, check their resume, check their performance, and say, okay, this is my candidate, I'm going to vote for him. Doing that, I think PDP stand a better chance of winning in the urban area.
Okay, you're talking about the urban area. Let's look at the electorates at the ward level where you're the chairman of Oredo local government area. How would you describe the electorate in Oredo local government area, their mindset and who they'll be voting for? Would you say development has also come to Oredo local government area and other local governments in Edo State? And also looking at as regards Eastern Central, how key are these factors for the upcoming elections?
When I talk up, I can only talk for my area, which is the urban area, the metropolitan sea of Benin.
Okay.
We'll talk about Oredo having 12 wards, and we have this very central area. We have the King Square, we have the urban market, we have the New Benin market, we have Saple Road district where we have ministries. Those are area of elite. We have the Garrick estate, we have Kewan Road. Kewan Road are more of civil servants. Oredo is a metropolitan city, and most of them, they work with what is conversant with the third world. How has the governor gone with area of making the state a digital state?
Okay.
The workers, the system, automatic system, working in favor of government and making government sector and the private sector work together so that we can have a better economy. I think all that is what the government is actually doing, bringing investors to the state, and these things, when they come, you read them, you listen to them on televisions. So I think with that, that's why I've said the urban city will vote amounts of the PDP, and I think the vote also lies on the urban cities, like Ikpoba-Oha, Ego, and Oredo, which they are dense
populated.
Density population, and population is very high. Like Ikpoba-Oha, last time they have, I think, 46,000 votes,
and
Oredo was having 40.
Okay, are you still there? All right. Okay. All right. Hello. Okay, I think we have to try to reconnect with Osula to get his view as regards things playing out. All right, we've been talking about the crisis in the PDP and what is the implications would be for the party in the upcoming elections in September, where they will be facing other candidates of other political parties as they look. All right, Osula, nice to have you rejoin us. Osula, can you hear me? Okay, yes, thank you for rejoining us. Let's continue our conversation. In terms of the INEC now, hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right, let's look at, in terms of the umpire INEC, is the PDP satisfied with how far the role INEC has played, especially from the primaries up till this moment, and how confident are you that INEC could give a level playing ground for the PDP and other political parties come September?
Like INEC really, they don't have so much issue. Depends on the arrangement of every party or every state. When you organize yourself, INEC come and they do what is best. When you are in disarray, they come and do what is best in the area of that disagreement. Because when you, INEC is like, whatever you give to them, they give back to you. If they come to Edo State and they see that the people, the voters are willing to vote for the PDP, they cannot just change it. Because there's a procedure. When you want to even rig an election, you have to be popular. If you are not popular, to rig the election becomes a problem. It's like you go to a polling unit where one of the parties had 0, is not having any vote. Even the agent has refused to vote for the party, and the winning party, as the case may be, is having 200 votes to 0 votes in one unit. Then you just take that result from that unit and take it to another, take it to a collating center and turn the 200 to 0 and give the other 200 to the other one, and the agent will be looking at you. The agent cannot be looking at you. But if the agent is bought and the agent agrees, INEC is there. INEC will say, okay, the agent has already agreed. INEC will join whatever they see there. But if the agent is not willing to change the result, I don't think INEC will also join to change the result. Most of this problem comes from collating centers and how sharp are the agents that are there, or how desperate they are, or in the area, or it could be, and when say desperate, it could be positive or negative. So that's when INEC actually comes in. There must be an election before INEC can rig the election. We don't want to discourage them. They are also human beings like us. There's no perfection in humanity. They have tried their best, but I think if it comes to an area when the governor is very popular and has worked very well, you can't turn that result.
All right, as we get to wrap up our discourse, let's look at the issue. Still, just to dwell as regards, recently the House of Assembly did publish in the newspapers that they have served the deputy notice of impeachment. Some people are scared that this might escalate and cause violence coming to the election proper. Are the people of Edo State also concerned about how this is panning out?
The issue of impeachment is new to us in Edo. Is an alien to the Edos, because Edo people are very gentle people, lively, full of life. And each time matters like this comes, we always look for internal mechanism to settle it. The process of impeachment, yes, it's no longer a rumor. That the deputy governor has been they've been trying to serve him an impeachment notice, and him himself is not even in town. As the last follow-up I had, he has not been served directly because he's not been in.
Okay.
I think we should leave that. I don't think it will get to that extent. The leaders of the states, community leaders, traditional rulers, as I've said, that impeachment is an alien. It has never happened in our state, and I don't think it's going to happen in this era. Let's see if we'll be able to work it out for the betterment of the state.
Okay, let's wrap it up now by asking you, we know that the indigenes of Edo, most of them travel out of the country. Let's look at the contributions and the concerns of those who have traveled out. I know you've got Oswayi, I think Obasoyi, who also got media linked to you. Or how has his response and other Edo indigenes' response been as regards the crisis in the state, and how impressed are they with how far the governor and the PDP has done thus far?
Like you rightly mentioned, the Edos in diaspora, they have soft spot for the state. They want a working state. They want, as I've said, that they want a development that looks like that takes up to the third world. And like Obasi, you mentioned, is a brother and a close friend of mine. He has been in the United States for close to 15 or 16 years. And I noticed recently he's been coming around and he's been very supportive of government because he can feel the presence of governance. So that's why he comes around every election. He sends money to support. He makes face caps. He makes some nice donation to government so that it can be continuity in government. If there's no security around, he cannot come around to leave the United States to come and dwell in Edo, and will be here for like 2, 3, 4 months before he goes back. And when his election comes around to also vote, I think because there's security and the system is working for his likeness, that's why he decided to come around, and the Edos in diaspora, they're supporting the government.
All right, I want to say a big thank you, Osula Polosa, the PDP chairman for Oredo local government area. We want to say thank you very much for joining us on Africa's Finest Breakfast Show, Global Morning on Global Television. Thank you for all your words and concerns, and we wish the people of Oredo and the state the very best as they look forward to the September polls. Let the best man win. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Obatobe.
All right, thank you. That's how we call it a wrap on the discourse this morning, as we call it a wrap on the Global Morning Show. My name is Anthony Mumuni. I want to say thank you to all the production crew and everyone who contributed one way or the other to make today's breakfast show a success. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good morning.
Welcome to Global Morning.
The death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure.
Incidentally, we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call a police station, before they even leave, they'll take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
We struggle with ASU strike.
You have done their work, you have put us to the wall. We are not the slaves.
I'm not a small boy. You should have